Print on demand is becoming one of the most popular and best ways to make money online. And now in 2024, there are things that you need to be doing that are crucial for the success of your print on demand shop. And so in this video today, I'm gonna give you a bunch of different things that I wish I knew and that I feel you should know as a beginner who's brand new and starting out in print on demand. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Mac. I post videos talking about e-commerce, passive income, different ways to make money online, all things Etsy, and of course, print on demand. And so that's what we're talking about in today's video. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I would love to have you as a part of our community here on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe, follow me on my socials for lots of different types of updates, and let's get right into it. So I'm gonna be very blunt and honest in this video, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel about certain things. So hopefully that's okay with you, but I've been doing print on demand for almost 4 years now, just shy of 4 years, and I've learned a lot. And there's things that I wish like somebody could have just shaken me and told me, and things change with these types of business models every year. So my first one is probably the most basic, but it's true. Not expect instant success. Print on demand is not a get rich quick scheme. You need to go into it with that mindset and know that this can be a long-term business model that's an asset for you and that can completely change your life, but it's gonna take time. So very first and honestly most important thing I feel I have to say if you are new and you are getting started in print on demand. Now, obviously, if you're starting out with a lot of capital and maybe experience in e-commerce before or selling online before, you might have more of a chance of having success early on if you have money for ads, if you already understand your niche, your target audience, or if you have help. So things to keep in mind here. Now, I'm somebody that had success, what is considered very quickly in the space. Back in 2020, 6 months, I was absolutely killing it. So it's possible in a span of time, but I don't want you to think that investing your time in a print on demand is going to be an instant return, especially if you're doing it on the side or if you have to like learn everything on your own. So please keep that in mind. Go into it with the idea of what this business model can be versus the instant gratification, right? That mindset right there is what will pull you and make you a successful print on demand seller versus someone that just gives up. So next thing I want to talk about is starting on an e-commerce marketplace. Now, this is a little bit controversial depending on who you ask in the print on demand community and where their success has come from. But personally, if I am a beginner and I'm starting out again, I'm going to do exactly what I did, and I'm going to start out on an e-commerce marketplace. So an e-commerce marketplace is essentially a place where there's multiple products. So think of Amazon, Etsy, that's a marketplace, right? It's somewhere that you can go and type something in and search through a marketplace. Now, if you're using something like Shopify and you're creating an online store on Shopify, that is a website host. So Shopify, Wix, all these different sites that you can set up your store through, that's a website host. So Shopify is your own website with your own domain for selling on an e-commerce marketplace like Etsy and opening up an Etsy shop, which is within Etsy, right? When you're starting out, something like Etsy, it's gonna be very beginner friendly and it's gonna be forgiving. So you're gonna have a little bit of help when it comes to customer service, when it comes to order fulfillment, the walking through, setting up your store, your tax stuff. Like there's more of help when it comes to selling on a marketplace like Etsy. But the number one thing is that when you're selling on a marketplace, the more money you make, the more money the marketplace makes. So they're gonna organically push your listings. There's already people, buyers, coming to that marketplace with an intent to make a purchase. So it's less marketing versus selling on your own e-commerce store. So on your Shopify store, you're going to be responsible for all of that traffic coming in. You're not posting it somewhere where there's already active buyers. That's something to keep in mind and what I feel is so valuable to know about selling on a marketplace. But do that information what you will. I know there is like a lot of mixed things on that, but me personally, I was able to scale an Etsy store in 6 months and I would do it all over again. I have done it all over again. So it's like something that I feel you should do as a beginner. But if you already have an audience, let's say like maybe you are an influencer or a content creator and you already have an audience or a brand that you want to bring online, that's a little bit different because you have an email list, you have people you can target, and it'll make the marketing easier. But if you're just starting out and you don't have that, I definitely would start on a marketplace. Next thing is understanding your profit margins and how the money side works. So this is a huge thing that when I first started, I did not understand, and I think it's so important. And I know a lot of sellers, when they get started, have the same issue that I ran into, and it's something that I talked about in my course and in my guide because it's so valuable to understand how you're paying the print provider, how you're getting paid, how you're making money, and that there's a profit margin involved, profit versus revenue. So if you've never sold anything before, you're not gonna know this, but your revenue is how much money that your item is making, but your profit is how much that you are actually taking after paying your print provider, paying your Etsy fees or your Shopify fees, and your shipping. So if you're selling a product for $40, but that product cost is $20, you're only profiting the $20. And what I really want to mention right now is how the print-on-demand payment process works, because a lot of people don't realize that you have to pay the print provider before you get paid. So you can set it up to pay you every day, but if you want to fulfill your orders quickly and efficiently, you're gonna have to upfront that money to a print provider before you get paid. So that involves a credit card or loading money onto your Printfy or Printful wallet. So you're gonna have to have some money that is going into this business model. Not a lot of people talk about this because yes, you can get started with a print-on-demand business for extremely low cost. You can set up a Printify account for free. You can set up an Etsy account for free with your free listings link. But when it comes to getting your first order, you are gonna have to upfront that money unless you wanna make the customer wait a little bit longer. It is up to you. Like you can, let's say you set up your Etsy account to pay you every day and your order comes in on a Monday, you receive that money on a Tuesday, and then you put the order in on Wednesday. That's fine if you want to do it that way, but that's something to keep in mind. And I've always run it with credit cards and having a card that is specifically for that Etsy shop. So like I know where the money is going and then I can pay it off immediately at the end of 2 weeks or however much time, and then I can really gauge on my profit. A lot of these print-on-demand suppliers have profit margin calculators, so that's really important to keep in mind when you're doing your pricing. And if you have more questions about this, I recommend going to your actual print provider's site that you're going to use and watching their tutorials and reading about it, because it could work differently. You are gonna have to use a credit card or load money or pay per the order as it gets in. But something that I really want to mention about that is I don't want you to get nervous about that. If you don't have a credit card, you don't need one. It's like when you're first starting out, you don't. You will eventually, but like when you're first starting out, I don't want to scare anyone. I'm just being real. You will have to like load a little bit of money. So regardless if you want to wait for that money to come in, then load the money and pay the order, totally up to you. Something else though that's good is you're not paying anything until you get an order. So no orders, like no sales means no money spent. If you list 10 different products on Etsy and you don't get any sales, you're not paying the print provider. You only have to pay them per order. So it's not something that like you're just like losing money out of, right? That's the beauty of this business model, is there's no inventory. Now, leading off of that, I want to talk about expanding your product line. So if you're selling on Etsy or your website, you can offer multiple different types of products. And then sometimes people get confused about this because they assume that like they have to have a one product store. But if you have a niche specific store, so let's say you create a store all around dog moms, you can have multiple different types of products with designs that are for dog moms, right? So you can have slippers, you can have blankets, you can have t-shirts, sweatshirts, you can have digital products, you can have a dog mom planner, or you know what I mean? Like you can incorporate tons of different types of products on your store, and I highly recommend that you do so. The next thing is making sure that we are doing our researching and that we are optimizing our listings and products. It is so important to understand who you are selling to. This is one of my favorite things to say. If you've followed my channel for a while or on social media, you've probably heard me say this. I also talked a lot about this in my Printify Amplified panel. So if you want to see that, I'll link that too. But knowing who you're selling to is so important. It is what is going to bring you from here to here in your niche. Once you understand your buyer, you understand what types of colors they like, what kind of vibe they like, what kind of products they want to buy, and overall, you are saving yourself time and money. Your time's everything. So if you spend all this time just like throwing random designs and products up on your store and none of it sells, you just wasted a bunch of time. But if you would put more time into researching, you would have less products and more sales, because those products you did the research to know somebody wants to buy it. So it's really, really valuable to do that and take the time to do that. I know it's not fun. I personally love to just get right into designing and throwing my designs on different products, but like, trust me, do the research. And that leads to optimization, which is huge. Having optimized listings on Etsy, again, gonna bring you from here to like way up here. If your listings are optimized with correct SEO, keywords, tags, and titles, your photos, your mockups are looking beautiful, you have a nice curated, easy to read description, your price is right because you did your price research, you know how the shipping time works with your products. If you have a beautifully curated and optimized listing, you are going to get way ahead of other sellers that just simply don't. And again, it's more time that you're gonna have to take to create that, but it is worth it. The payoff is worth it. Now, I know I did mention some ways that you can optimize a listing, so let me just give you some insight on that. If you want better mock-up photos, I highly recommend using placeit.net. I have been using them for years. Literally 10 out of 10 is an AI type of mock-up generator. You put your design on and it does it immediately and you can download, and I will have a link for you below, and that is a monthly or yearly price for unlimited downloads. So you can download as many as you want, and it's really great. And for keywords in your tags and titles, and for profit margins, you can use the other site that I absolutely love, which is Everbee. They are a Chrome extension that's going to sync with Etsy, and they're going to show you all the spy work that you need to check out your competitors' listings to see how much they're making, how many sales they're getting, what types of keywords they're using in their tags and titles. You can see what is trending. You can see how many people have searched for the terms that you're gonna put in, so checking that competition in your SEO, which is huge. And you can use the profit calculator as well, so that will be linked for you, of course. And those are just two of my favorite tools that really do help me to optimize my listings. The last one that I wanna talk to you about today is designing. Designing is what's gonna make or break your print-on-demand store. You could have the most beautifully curated listings, mock-up photos, SEO research store, right? But if your designs suck, nobody's gonna buy them. Who wants to buy that, right? Something about print-on-demand that's so interesting is we don't really have a reason for our customers to buy something. If you compare it to something like dropshipping, right? Dropshipping, a lot of the times the most successful products, they're solving a problem. And where print-on-demand falls into that is a lot of the products are not solving a problem. They're curated towards people, and we don't really have a reason to buy them, but we want to interest people with our designs to buy them. And so that is why designs are so crucial. And it's something that, if I'm being completely honest with you, if you're not a great designer, I recommend two things. I recommend buying pre-made PLR designs that you have the rights to use that are curated for your niche, or hiring a designer, or using AI. I love using Kittle AI. I have some tutorials about that, which I'll link for you. Now, also, like I mentioned, hiring a designer. Yes, we do want to keep our costs low when we're first starting out print on demand, right? But this could actually pay off in the end. You can use websites like Fiverr or Upwork, and you can hire designers that will create your vision. They'll make it come to life. And obviously you'll have to pay them, but depending on your price range, there are lots of different options on these sites to find the perfect designer for you. And lastly, if you are someone that wants to purchase PLR pre-made designs, you can use a website like Creative Fabrica, which I talk about a lot on my channel, and I'll have them linked below with a link for 10 free downloads. So that's 10 designs that you can download right now that are already created for you, and use them for free. Also, if you do want to teach yourself designing when you're getting started, focus on text-based designs or personalized designs. Overall, I just want to be honest with you that designing is so huge, so really be honest with yourself too if you're first starting out. All right, so those are my tips for print on demand 2024. No BS, just me being honest with you. So let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if it was helpful to you in any way. If there's anything that you suggest, if you're maybe a little bit more advanced in print on demand and you watch this, what could you share with other online sellers? I am working on a paid community that is going to be like a mentorship community. So if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comment section. I really would like to launch it within the next month. And it's gonna be like, I'm gonna be in there answering all the questions. And then we're also gonna have the opportunity to like chat with one another and really have a community. Something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but honestly, I've been a little nervous to do it because I get so many questions all the time and it gets overwhelming. So having like one place to do that, I think would be really, really cool. I would be able to get to know so many of you guys. So please let me know if that's something that would interest you. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next one.